Hi everyone, it's Don from Don's Family Vacation, and today I'm going to give you 10 tips on taking a Panama Canal cruise. A lot of people have been asking me about this, so we're going to talk about it, and we're going to talk about a cruise line that specializes in the Panama Canal as well. So I hope you stay tuned, and we're going to talk about it right after this. So number one is between September and April is the less rain time of season. So if you're looking, I know it's not peak season, it's not during the summer and stuff like that, but if you're looking for a nice sunny cruise during the winter time, a Panama Canoe, why am I having trouble saying Panama Canal today? The Panama Canal Cruise might be just right for you because it's the least amount of rain that you're going to experience on that cruise during that set of time. Now, it can still rain, don't get me wrong, but your odds are much, much better. You're going to have a nice, warm cruise during the winter months than you will during the summer months on a Panama Canal Cruise. Wow. One cruise line in particular, Princess Cruise Lines, built two ships specifically for the Panama Canal. They built the Island Princess and the Coral Princess. And what these ships are, instead of being taller and wider, they made them longer so that there's more balcony staterooms and they fit much smoother in the Panama Canal. So if you're looking for a ship designed specifically for that cruise, take a look at those two ships, because I think 80% of the ship is balcony cabins, so you're going to get the great views, and you're also on a ship that's specifically built for the cruise you're on. Number three, the Panama Canal is definitely a longer cruise experience. If you're looking for one of those 3 or 4 day cruises, you're not going to find it in the Panama Canal. The minimum is 7 days, and a lot of them go up to 16 days. Because it's usually from one port to another, from one ocean to the other ocean, and it's much more enjoyable to make sure that you're not rushing. Imagine a 3-day cruise in the Panama Canal where the only thing you do is drive through the canal. You don't stop at any ports. So that's one of the reasons that the Panama Canal Cruise, because it's slower and you have to wait for other boats and other ships and freighters and things like that to go through the canals. That's why this cruise tends to be longer than you can get anywhere else. Number 4, in Punta Canas, Costa Rica, they have a hot springs resort there. I believe it's called Tabanas, and it is the site of an actual active volcano. So if you've ever wanted to get near an active volcano, that's a great place to do a shore excursion up to the rim, and you get to see a live volcano that's still active to this day. And you can honestly say that not too many people have ever done that. So be part of that few and just hope it doesn't go off while you're visiting. Number 5, in Puerto Limo, they have a national park reserve there where it's a water ride sort of thing where you can get on the boats and you go out and you visit the crocodiles, you see tons of monkeys, you see all the nature of that area. And it's a great reservation area, preservative for nature, that's basically untouched. And it's absolutely gorgeous to go through on a hot summer day and take a nice leisurely boat ride and just take a look at all the animals that are in the area. And the guides there are very, very knowledgeable. They would know all kinds of history of the animals, how they showed up on the shores. Some of the monkeys there are not indicative of that region and came from other regions. So it's kind of an interesting tour, and it takes a nice relaxing trip, and that's one of the shore excursions that I like to do when I'm in that area. Another nice shore excursion in that area is the tramway that they have. It's long, it's high, and you get to see for miles and miles and miles around you, and it's a great way to get a good glimpse of both the canal and the surrounding cities and the surrounding areas, and just take a look at the openness of that area. And you can, it's pretty neat to be up that high and just be able to view all your surroundings from that area. It's not a long excursion to go on. It's not going to take you all day to do it, and you can get some fantastic photography pictures up there if that's your kind of like a photo bug like me who like to take hundreds of photos when you're on trips. Take the tramway up, because you're going to get some shots that you're impossible to get any other way. Number 7, Panama Canal cruises tend to be somewhat different from other cruises in that when you're on deck, because everything is so close, I mean, you're in a canal and there's like 8 feet sometimes separating the ship from the canal walls. You're going to get great views on the ship from the decks of the ship. You don't have to necessarily have a balcony to be able to get up and get great photos and see the sights and see the areas that you're going by. It's still nice to have that balcony, because then you can just sit on the relaxing when you're going through the canal itself, and just relax in your room and sit on the balcony and watch things happen. It's quite amazing to see that, you know, a 265-ton ship is being pulled through this little waterway, and with literally feet to spare on each side. So it's quite amazing to watch. But if you don't happen to have a balcony cabin, you can still see all this from the decks, where I would say, like an Alaskan cruise, a balcony is a must. A Panama Canal cruise, you can get just as good of views from up on deck. Tip number 8, Cologne and Porto Lima are notorious for having petty crime when you're on a shore excursion. But let me be clear on this, it tends to be shore excursions that are offered from the ports and private ones and things like that, the petty crimes. And we're just talking, you know, pickpocketing and camera stealing and running off with your purses and things like that. If you go on a shore excursion in either of these two towns, I would say to go with the ship shore excursion, because believe it or not, there's a 70% less crime rate between the two tours in those two cities. I don't know what it is. I don't know if there's collusion between some of those places with the tour operators on the shore. It is a very poor area in some of the places, so for that big a difference, for the price of maybe another $30 a person on the shore excursion, I'd prefer to say, let's play it safe and let's book the shore excursion with the cruise line. First of all, there tends to be more people around you, which is probably the deterrence for the petty crimes. So keep that in mind in Cologne and Porto Lima when you're booking a shore excursion. Number 9, I recommend to everybody go on YouTube, search in Google, look for documentaries on Netflix about the building of the Panama Canal before you go, because it's great to know a little bit about the history and what was involved in building these things, how many people put their lives, lost their lives building this canal, and the reasons the canals were built. It gives you a little sense of history, so when you're on the cruise and they're talking about these things, you'll have some understanding ahead of time of what it all means and what it all went through. Sometimes seeing it, you know, now that it's all finished and everything looks lush and great compared to when they were digging the canal and through the jungles and through the swamps and things like that, it's almost like an amazing thing. It's almost like looking at a World War II documentary on, you know, the landings at Juno Beach and stuff like that during D-Day, and then going now, the beach is beautiful and clear and everything, and back then there was bodies and things like this all over the place, and people who, you know, struggling for their lives. It's kind of like the same thing. There was people just, you know, got malaria, people just got crushed by machineries, and so much went into building the Panama Canal, and the people that, you know, started it not necessarily were able to finish it. So Learning the history is amazing because now you can see the transformation of what it was to build and what it's now become in the world. And it's the largest shipping lane anywhere in the world. So keep that in mind when you're watching those documentaries. Finally, number 10. One of the reasons I like to do Princess Cruises is because of the big Jumbotron TVs they always have on one of their decks. And at night they have the movies under the stars and things like that. But what they'll also do is during the day, sometimes they'll run some seminars and things like that about the building of the Panama Canal while you're going through it. So it's great to watch and then look over and hear the commentary behind you about the stuff that you're seeing when you look outside on the decks or on your balcony. So I really like Princess Cruise Line's seminar sessions about the Panama Canal, and they're very informative, they're very knowledgeable, and they're done by local people from the area. It's not the ship's crew who does the seminars, it's the people from the area and the experts and the guides. So you're getting first-hand knowledge of all this stuff that's going on. And then you also have the big Jumbotron that'll sometimes put up the seminars. And then at night, you can still relax while you're going through the canals and watch a big blockbuster movie under the stars and have some popcorn, have some wine, and just enjoy yourself. That's one of the reasons, again, I like the Princess Cruise Lines, and they also have those 2 ships that are designed specifically for the Panama Canal. So they have the edge in my books when you're looking for a Panama Canal cruise. So there's 10 quick things about some shore excursions, about some ships, about a cruise line, about the history of the Panama Canal. I hope you liked this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos from around the world and tours and tips and things like that, lots of cruising stuff, please hit the subscribe button. And until next time, everybody have a safe and a great vacation.